Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. It's time to rip the transmission and engine out of this BRAT. So as you guys can see, I've started labeling the wires here that I think are important, such as wiper motor, the brake reservoir, horn, wiper reservoir, O2 sensor, you know, the headlights and everything. Just so I know and I have some references when we do the swap. Now the plan is to keep the body harness the same. I don't want to mess with the body harness. So the BRAT, the current state of the BRAT will continue to control the brake lights, the headlights, all that stuff, the windshield wipers, all that after the swap. And then we'll do a standalone ECU that will control the engine and the tachometer and speedometer and all that kind of stuff. So I've started labeling what I think is important. However, there is a lot of junk in here, and I'll show you here in a minute. I'm sure over the last 30-something years, a lot of people have tinkered with this. I'm definitely not the original owner, and I'm definitely not the second owner. So some things have been done to get the electrical system, if you will, to work. So I'm gonna cut a lot of this out, but most of it I've labeled, and I've already drained the radiator and got that removed. And then next will just be the transmission and engine that we need to drain. The cool thing about this, and I don't wanna mess anything up when I'm taking this out, is I can use all of this stuff in the 1986 BRAT. So it's the same engine, same transmission, I'm pretty sure. But you know, things like the voltage regulator, the starter, you know, all the little carburetor parts and everything will fit on the 1986 BRAT. So theoretically we'll have a complete backup if anything goes wrong there. So let's start taking things out. All right, well, we got a lot disconnected. One tip for you guys, try to take as many pictures as you can. Now, I know this engine is not gonna go back in here. At least that's not my plan, but it's nice to have pictures for reference. So I took like reference pictures of the evap system over here and all that. Took lots of pictures, so try to take as many as you can. But we got most of the stuff out of the way that's gonna go with the engine, minus some of these heater hoses, which I'm letting drain some more. But I thought I'd show you guys this. This is kind of funny. Check that guy out. A little bitty shut-off valve there for your heater hose system. So that's pretty funny. Most of it is out. A lot of the shinier, newer wires you see are new. They're like this. They spliced this ground into the headlight switch for whatever reason. So I don't know what that's about, but all this will go with the engine and this stuff will stay behind. So we're gonna keep moving forward and make sure we get everything out so we can rip this engine out. Another tip I'd like to show you guys is I recommend if you're working on something like this and you got a shop, or even if you don't, get you a cart. Doesn't have to be this one. This is a Harbor Freight US General box, but get you something where all your tools are centralized. You got all my pliers there. I've got my impact sockets. I've got all my metric wrenches. I've got my screwdriver set, all my sockets and power tools and everything just right here. Everything is here and it's right next to what I'm working on. You know, I can wheel this over to the other cars and work on them. So just try to get you something. It doesn't have to be something fancy. I think I got this on sale during around the holiday season for like 150 bucks. So if you keep your eyes out, you can get some really good deals. But that's just a tip I actually learned off of YouTube from the Humble Mechanic, and I really thought it was a good idea. So I've implemented that here in the shop. So I want to take these off so we don't damage them when we're doing all this work. So imagine these are hard to find, especially that grill piece. So I want to keep it protected. All right, we got the front end disassembled. I want to take the lights and the trim off just so we don't damage anything while we're pulling the engine out. Got most everything disconnected around the engine. The only thing left would be this bracket. So when we get ready to pull her out, we'll just undo this bracket here, and then we'll separate it from the transmission, and we'll take the transmission out separately. I think that's will be next on the agenda. All right guys, we're about to pull out the engine. Got the motor mounts unbolted, got all the bolts off of the transmission. Got my chain here. This engine doesn't weigh a lot, maybe like 200 pounds or something. So I'm gonna try to lift it out from the side. Normally you would lift it out from the front, but I don't have a lot of room here, and I didn't have a lot of pre-planning on this. So it'd be better if this was further back, but I can't really do anything with it up on jack stands and has no suspension whatsoever. So we're gonna try to pick it up and pull it out from the side. If I need to lower the front end while we're doing that, I can. So we're just gonna have to play it by ear and see how this goes. All right, so we got the engine out. It was pretty straightforward. And here it is. We're on the pallet. It's really not that bad of a shape for how old it is. Just needs to be cleaned up. But we'll keep it because it's the same engine that's in the 86. So we'll be able to use parts off that. So next part, I guess I should say the next plan of attack is the transmission. And then kind of start cleaning up the engine bay, things we'll need, things we won't need. Need to rebuild the battery tray. Need to take these brackets off here for the jack because we're not going to use that. Probably take off these guys here. Just make this engine bay nice and clean and ready to accept the new engine. There's a little bit of rust in here. Maybe you can see down in here. We'll clean all that out. Down in here, but I think we could probably fix that. It doesn't seem to extend into any of the frame here, so. All right guys, so the engine is out. We'll do the transmission later. You guys don't really need to see all that. And then we're gonna figure out a way to get this chassis kind of mobile. That way we can get outside, I can power wash all this, and we can really start cleaning up and preparing it for the new engine, which I wanna show you right now. All right, here she is. This is an EJ 2.5 liter, so an EJ 255 out of a 2010 Subaru Legacy GT. And so, like I said, it's a 2.5 liter EJ series motor. But the reason I picked this one was because it has the front mount turbocharger. So the newer WRXs and STIs have the front mount turbocharger, and the traditional ones have the turbocharger back here behind the engine. And the reason I didn't want to go with those engines was because of the up pipe. And so the up pipe was going to create a lot of problems for me. I was going to have to notch the cross member on the BRAT, and I didn't want to do all that. And so by moving the turbocharger in the front, we essentially, all we have to do is run the down pipe out that way down the driver's side of the car, and we're good. We don't have to modify the cross member or anything. So rumor has it, these will bolt right in by just notching out the mounting holes on the BRAT cross member. Haven't got there yet, so I can't verify that. But in theory, this should work. A lot of people have done this. I don't think anybody's done the front mount turbocharger, but a lot of people have done the swap, and so I'm very confident that this is gonna work. We might just have to do a little bit of modification to the engine bay, but that's okay. That's what we're doing. I got it the other day and I got a really good deal on it. And so it's kind of really hard to pass up. Another cool thing is everything is tucked in tight here with the turbocharger. So blow off valve, the intake, even the downpipe, like I said earlier, is right here. Then the intake to the intercooler, which we'll figure that out later, is up there. This will allow us to have drive-by-wire throttle and everything. So I'm really excited about this. And so I hope you guys are too. All right guys, thanks for watching the video today. I'm gonna try to keep future videos a little short like this one, just kind of show you one thing at a time as we move forward with the build. And so it's easier to film that way. It's easier for me to get them out to you and hopefully enjoy a little bit of a shorter video. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me in the shop.